Welcome back to Total Shock Fiction. I'm your host, M. Pandico, aka Dr. Shock, the most shocking scumbag journalist on the planet. I'm also an author and publisher of Black Fantasy. Total Shock Fiction is the home of Black Fantasy. We encourage you to Exodus the Darker Blackly and go get one of our books over on Amazon. That's Total Shock Fiction, MrShock.substack.com. You can go get the link to all of our books over there. That's MrShock.substack.com. So, today we're going to be discussing how DC's Absolute Universe copies the Spawn universe. DC has made a huge pivot to outshine Marvel. Now, for years and years and years and years, everybody says Marvel does it better. Marvel does superheroes better. They're more complex. Back in the day, they actually used to call DC dumb comics. Back in the day. I'm on the other side of the fence. DC does it better than Marvel and always has. Marvel is good at one thing, being more shiny. Yeah, that's right. Marvel has always known how to floss to a degree that outshines the competition. DC has always remained very traditional. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. The spandex look. That classic caped superhero fighting for justice. The Justice League. That's always been their brand. From the Golden Age, Silver Age, da, 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 da. What Marvel did was modernize superheroes from what they had been previously. The difference between Marvel and DC is DC, we can date back to damn near the 30s into the 40s, through World War II. Yeah. But Marvel came out in the 60s. So Marvel was able to modernize. They were able to give a Spider-Man bitten by a radioactive spider, teenage kid, he has problems. Incredible Hulk, scientist, transformed by gamma radiation, turns into a big green monster. DC didn't have a big green monster. They didn't have a teenager slinging webs. The X-Men, right? Fantastic Four was huge. They contextualized superheroes in a way that felt more relatable, and they had cool character designs, great art, Jack Kirby, right? So the thing about Marvel is I feel like what's always been their shit is floss, bro. I feel like they've always flossed. Like that's what they've always done, bro. I'm checking to make sure Kirby was Marvel. Yeah, okay. I was making sure he wasn't DC by accident. So let's use this for example, right? So I just went to the comic shop. I've been watching all these comic book YouTube channels, the black ones, and I was feeling nostalgic. I used to go to the comic shop all the time. There was one right across the street from my college. I used to buy hella comics out of there. That's how I got all my collection. But I read alternative comics. I don't read superhero shit. But I wanted to go to the comic book shop. So I found a comic book shop. It was a little far, but I had my sister drive me over there. I go. It's a small little shop. It's all superhero shit. It's all superhero shit. The chick working there was kind of abrasive when a real nigga walked in. She's like, "Is he here to steal?" That's the energy she was giving me. I literally gave her the money, and she goes, "It's 23.50," and I'm like, "Isn't that $25 that I sent you?" She goes, "Oh, I can't count. I'm shaming you. I can't count." I was like, "Okay, count it again." The money's right there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I felt kind of way about it. They used to do the same thing in my comic shop, right? So like I had gone in there and bought hell comics. And then one time I went in there and the owner was in there. And this nigga, he literally looked like Tony Stark. He was like Tony Stark. He's like, "Bro, take your backpack off. Come over here, look through our catalog, pick out some comics." He was like talking to me and shit. I didn't realize how comic book shops work. So like he had me pick a bunch of comics and then you're supposed to go in and buy them from them and then they're making money. But I didn't really get understand that. But it was still cool. He gave me a free water. He let me pick out a comic book for free. Like I was like, hey, this is cool. Like this guy's awesome, you know? But if it was someone new in there, like if it wasn't one of the dudes in there that I bought my comics from all the time who knew who I was, they would be looking at me like I was getting there to steal. And I would get pissed because I would drop hundreds of dollars there. I used to take all my money there. I would just go in there and buy volumes because I only buy volumes of shit. I don't buy one issues. I just buy volumes. Oh, I did used to buy issues too. I would just go in there and buy hundreds of comics. So I'm like, bro, I spent over $1,000 in here, nigga. Don't be looking at me like I'm trying to steal some shit because I'm a real nigga. And this is the theme of my channel. Real niggas can like this shit y'all call nerd culture. I'm not a nerd. I like what they label nerd shit. I like comic books. I like superheroes. I like anime. I like movies and shit. Like I like fantasy shit. Like fuck, I'm imaginative. I'm a writer. That shit is ammunition. It helps me write. Whatever. So I go to the comic book shop despite the generalized internal racism within the corporate structure of these establishments. You know what I'm saying? I go and I walk around, pick out my comics. It was pretty easy, honestly, because I just gravitate towards shit and I go, well, this is what I'm gonna get. This is what I'm gonna get. This is what I'm gonna get. So I walk in at first, it's all superhero shit. I'm like, fuck, there's not much shit in here, right? I see all Vampirella. I'm like, oh, here's where we're at. You know, because if it's Bombshell Babe plus horror supernatural, Vampirella, I mean, she's my cup of tea. Let's say that. You know what I'm saying? She's my cup of tea. Sexy, badass, occult detective, monsters, horror, alternative, not regular superhero. That's my shit. So, but there was hella variant covers. Like she was sexy on all of them. Some of them it was a real model cosplaying Vampirella. So I'm looking through picking. I picked the one that to me was like the one that resonated. I'm like, well, I like this one. She looked good on this one. This one was cool. So I grab a Vampirella because I figure I'm probably gonna get one of these. I didn't know the prices. Like I assumed it was like $5 some shit, but I'm like, hopefully I have enough. I don't look stupid. And she tried to make me look stupid anyway, even though I had enough money, right? I had $25 on me. So I grab Vampirella and I see a Dark Knight Returns. And I almost grabbed it because I've been watching some videos about Dark Knight Returns. Of course, I know about the whole Frank Miller shit. But I don't know. I'm just not a big Batman guy like that. Like I just I'm reluctant to buy a superhero comic. That's probably why the nerds are gonna hate me because they're like, this motherfucker doesn't like nerd shit. He's not even a geek. Like, but other motherfuckers think I am. That's a problem. Like, I'm too non-nerdy for the nerds, but the motherfuckers who ain't into nerd shit think I am a nerd. It's like they don't want me either. Nobody wants me, right? So I take the Vampirella and I look, there's a whole other side of the shop with all the boxes with all the shit. They have like a table with shit, and then they had a wall. And then I went through their volumes and I didn't like their horror was trash. I was like, oh, these are all whack. I did I did take a look at Jason Aaron's Return to New York Ninja Turtles. But as I flipped through it, I'm like, I think I'm just a little too old for Ninja Turtles. Like I just even though I like Ninja Turtles, they're alternative, but I was like, I'm not trying to read Ninja Turtles. Like I know Ninja Turtles. I know these niggas. Like I don't need this. So I put that back. I keep the Vampirella. She's looking sexy on the cover. She was telling me she's like, go find something else, babe. I'm like, okay, Vampirella. I'll go find something else. Right. So I go through all their boxes, all superhero shit. I'm like, fuck, bro. I'm not gonna want none of this shit. And they had Spawn, but I'm like, I don't want Spawn. Like, I don't want this Spawn shit. It wasn't even like the new Spawn either. I don't think. I think it was the old shit. So I'm going through. I go through all their boxes real quick. I didn't want another shit. I looked at the Silver Surfer. I'm like, no. I spot their rack by the door. This is the part where the chick probably thought I was gonna run out. I spot the rack by the door. I go, oh, here we go, because they just have random shit, and the shit's cheap. So it's random shit, and the shit's cheap. I immediately spot Fantastic Four, the introduction of Black Panther, where he's doing the double leg kick and he's fucking these niggas up. I see that right away. $6. I say, oh, this is a classic. I just seen it in a YouTube video. I know the comic already. I'm like, oh, this is a classic. Snatch. Grab that. Scroll, scroll. Boom. Holographic Green Lantern. Beware my power issue. The one where white Green Lantern, Hal Jordan's all fucked up, and black Green Lantern's holding him up, and he's like, they 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 kick the shit out of white Green Lantern. Try me, nigga. Like that's what it says. Something like that on the front. And it's holographic green. And it's John Stewart's Green Lantern. It's his introduction as Green Lantern, which is another iconic comic which I'm aware of because I know nerd shit. So that's why I'm saying when I seen the Black Panther Fantastic Four, I know that's the introduction of Black Panther, and when I seen the Green Lantern, I know that's the introduction to John Stewart, which is why we had John Stewart in McDuffie's Justice League, and why they did the Green Lantern Beware Your Power movie in the Tomorrowverse. Like I get it. And I like Green Lantern. Green Lantern First Flight is one of the best DC animated movies. Like Green Lantern is cool. Even white Green Lantern. But this is black Green Lantern. So I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. And it had a Green Arrow story, bonus story, too. And I was like, yes, like this is dope too. I love Green Arrow. He was the shit in Justice League Unlimited. So I caught both of those, and I copped the Vampirella. It turned out the Vampirella had a Caribbean dude who turned into a cosmic god like Silver Surfer. So it's basically Black Silver Surfer with Vampirella. So it was black too, by way of this Caribbean guy who has cosmic god powers. And I actually loved the whole Vampirella storyline, and it's being written by a black writer. So technically, all three books was on some black shit. So I was like, oh yeah, Black Power, Black Power, Black Power, Green Lantern ring. It was funny. When John Stewart becomes Green Lantern, he literally tells Hal Jordan, nigga, you should call me the Black Lantern. This nigga. But my point is, when I read these, right, Vampirella, fire. The writing was on point. It flowed. For me, a comic, if it's too wordy and slows me down and not, I sound like I can't read. I sound literate as fuck. No, I can read, nigga. No, I mean, like, there's a certain flow to comics. You want it to be flowy so you can read through it without it being over the top exposition that slows down the experience, because you want to read it and see the art and not have to spend too much time on a bubble to where it feels like you're just searching for bubbles to read and not seeing the art. It's a perfect balance. Like Something is Killing the Children has that perfect balance. The Spawn comics, to me, they lean more blocky over too much words in the bubbles to where it doesn't flow, and then the art's hella ill to where I damn near just be flipping looking through the art because I'm like, I'm not about to read all this. Like, and then the storyline isn't that. If the storyline isn't super cool, it's like, nah. So it's like Vampirella lands that perfect balance. So I love that comic. I wish I could get all the new Vampirellas, just take them all off the rack. I need to read more. It was actually my first Vampirella comic. I never read her shit. I always knew who she was, but I never read her shit. So Vampirella, Dynamite, they're crushing the game. I'm fucking with Dynamite right now, and I like that they're heavy with the Vampirella all over the racks. So, and it's a black writer. So I think it's Christopher Priest, I believe his name is. So I got that. Boom. I open up the Fantastic Four. Snooze fest, nigga. The writing on that old ass Marvel, not it, bruh. Not it. And my past experience when I've read Marvel comics, they lean towards kids, like the newer ones. Like I had a Carnage I got that was, and I didn't fuck with it. Like I liked those old Blade comics. I liked Werewolf by Night, Max. I didn't like Old Man Logan that much. Like it was cool, the art, the concept. I didn't like the comic that much. It didn't blow my socks off. Like I was expecting some Watchmen level shit, and it didn't give me that. That's my point. I feel like Marvel flosses with the art, character, design, concepts, and then the story execution be not as cool, not as dope, not as immersive, not as ill. So that Fantastic Four, I flipped through that motherfucker. I did not read that whole shit. I did not read all the bubbles because I'm like, this is boring. I don't give a fuck about the Fantastic Four, and it's that old '60s Marvel. I was like, this ain't it. And it's not because I don't like to read, nigga. I read novels. Like I read books. Like I read the Tao Te Ching, motherfucker. Like I'm literate. But yeah. So the Fantastic Four, Green Lantern though, old style comic. I love the art though. I love that old classic art style. It had that balance. It had that balance of writing to art to where the writing doesn't outweigh the art and it flows seamlessly. And I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I didn't even read the whole thing, so I want to save it for later and read the rest with the Green Arrow shit. But I read the whole Green Lantern shit, and it was dope. It was way better than the Marvel. So just off that, picking up John Stewart's intro versus Black Panther's intro, right? Marvel and DC, and then using the Vampirella comic as a gold standard of a perfect balance of writing to art ratio. Green Lantern lands right in that perfect balance, whereas Marvel does not. And I think that shows. I mean, yes, this is based on my personal preference, but also I'm saying I'm putting this forward that I just feel like Marvel, they're real shiny, real glossy. DC got that substance. And that's why Absolute DC, Absolute Universe is kicking Marvel's ass. And James Gunn is kicking Marvel's ass. And what they did was a smart thing. James Gunn gave Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, which propped up the whole Avengers Infinity War. They DC Warner Bros. Before they got bought out said, "Hey, James Gunn, you can have DC. You can have this whole shit." They gave this nigga decades of animated movies and movies and said, "You can have the whole DC universe. Do what you want." I mean, yeah, he made Scooby Doo. You know, he did all this shit. I'm not really a fan of James Gunn's style. I'm gonna be real, but he's kicking ass with DC. People love the Superman movie. I hated it, but at least he put Mr. Terrific in there. I'll give him credit for that. He made Hot Girl Latina. I'll give him credit for that. She was Latina in the Justice League animated too. She was voiced by the mom on Wizards of Waverly Place. Her name escapes me at this moment. I've had a crush on her voice since I was 12. So I'll give him his credit. He put Mr. Terrific in there. It was a big hit. The Green Lantern show now, Lanterns looks dope. That Lantern show, True Detective Green Lantern, and it has white Green Lantern and black Green Lantern, like Hal Jordan and John Stewart. Now I fuck with that. That looks cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm gonna watch that. I hope it's good because I fuck with that and I like Green Lantern. And they got the black Green Lantern. They gotta have the white Green Lantern, but they have the black Green Lantern. You know, he should have been black in the movie. I don't know why they got Ryan Reynolds. Like this nigga slotted for Deadpool. Why did you niggas throw him in the Green Lantern costume? It's supposed to be John Stewart. He's been black since McDuffie. Let's keep him black. Then, if you watch the DC animated universe, they did White Green Lantern and First Flight and Emerald Knights. Then, when they did Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, and they all got slaughtered, guess who it was? Not Hal Jordan. It was John Stewart. They made him black for the Apocalypse War to get massacred. Racist as a motherfucker. That shit was fucked up, bruh. That shit was fucked up. So the Lantern show looks dope. Supergirl is flexing the CGI crypto. You know, I'm sure people love that shit. You got a hot blonde girl and a dog. What does America love more than hot blondes and dogs? Like, what does America love more? I mean, this guy is gonna start printing money. He's gonna start printing fucking money. Like, a hot blonde and a dog? It's gonna sell like fucking hotcakes. Like, he's a genius. I mean, the guy knows his shit. He knows how to please an audience. So the DC movie universe is up, whereas Marvel has been trying to get back up. After Endgame, that was their end game, nigga. And they barely had a movie. They had to do that shit where they time travel back to the first movie and the characters are running around the actions of the first movie. Doing some of that shit. Like, come on, bro. So they got the new Spider-Man lined up. They did the Wonder Man show again using Black Cool to put some new energy into some shit, to hype some shit up. They got Daredevil. They brought back Robert Downey as Doctor Doom to do Avengers Doomsday. They're bringing Chris Evans back as Captain America. They're probably just gonna put him in the suit again. I guess Black Captain America wasn't cool enough. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I'm not really a big fan of Marvel shit anymore, you know. So, the Absolute Universe. Now, unfortunately, I haven't gotten the Absolute Universe comics yet. I've researched them. I know what's going on with them. I've seen all the art and shit. I think the first thing I seen was that Joker, right? So people are all loving Absolute DC. It's selling. DC's up because their movies are up and now their comics are up. So it's really both. Marvel is like, oh, not doing it. Like, did you guys watch the Fantastic Four movie? Because I didn't. You know, type of energy. But what DC did with the Absolute Universe is copy McFarlane. So we got to give the Toddfather his props when deserved, because the Toddfather created the template that they fucking took and ran with. What did what did fucking McFarlane just do like in the last 2 years? They've been pressuring the Toddfather to reissue Spawn, right? Well, why don't you restart at issue 1 like New 52 and all these other comics? That's the formula for Marvel DC. Do a issue 1 to get a little boost. But as McFarlane pointed out in a recent podcast, when they do that, they get a little boost and then their shit goes down. They get a little boost, their shit goes down, and it just goes down more and more. So their shit is not up. So he has the longest running independently owned comic in history. Why would he reissue at issue 1? They had the Spawn Resurrection event, and the shit has continued since then. So what he did was he launched Spawn Universe, which was smart as fuck. It was smart as fuck. I never got to get in on Spawn 1. I'm born in 95. So I was a kid. I didn't get to get in on Spawn 1. I didn't even start collecting comics until I was in college. But when Spawn Resurrection came out, I was buying comics. So I was there for Spawn Resurrection. So for me, that felt like an entry point. I think that was what, issue 300? I felt like, boom, I get to be part of the Spawn universe now. He got me as a buyer, as a consumer, as a fan of the universe. I had grown up watching the movie. I'd seen the cartoon. Boom, I was able to get Spawn Resurrection. It's on my wall right now. And it was a great comic, actually. The storyline was on point. It was great. That's a great comic, that Spawn Resurrection. And the artwork was fire with the big-ass hell sword. So with Spawn Universe, he dropped the Spawn Universe one-shot, introducing all the different elements of everything that was going to be in the Spawn Universe, which was genius. Then came out with King Spawn. So basically a Spawn number 1, right? Focusing on Spawn, but a new storyline. Gunslinger Spawn, focusing on Gunslinger Spawn, which is one of the cool, other spawns, alternate spawns. And then drop the Scorched with the team book, which is the one that's my favorite. I like Scorched because she Spawn is dope, a female sexy Spawn. Medieval Spawn is the shit, and then they also can throw in Spawn. They had Haunt in there, fucking just literally fucking everyone, bro. Medieval Spawn is dope as fuck. She Spawn, and then Gunslinger Spawn, and they can have regular Spawn. They have everyone, so it's Scorched. So the team book was Scorched. He had different creators on him, different artists on him, and it became a new jumping on point for new readers to jump into the Spawn universe and expand on Spawn as a concept without having to reissue the actual Spawn run, which continues to this day. What did DC do? Relaunch each character in the Absolute Universe darker, bolder. So black fantasy versions, darker and bolder than traditional fantasy. That's black fantasy. And what people call edgier, darker and bolder. Exodus the Darker Blackly, black fantasy. And came out with Jason Aaron, one of the best writers in comics, doing Absolute Superman, a brutal ass Absolute Batman with that ill ass Joker, and Absolute Wonder Woman in hell. And then they have the black girl Green Lantern, right? We have a black female Green Lantern, and Absolute Martian Manhunter. They went real psychedelic and crazy with the artwork on that one. Then there's the other ones, but those are like the core ones that are dope, right? That I've seen. And what did they do? They gave the creators, the writers, and the artists more creative freedom. So that's why you get Absolute Joker. In the tradition of comics, they wouldn't have let someone do that with Joker. Well, you turn him to a vampire monster, what? That was what went viral. That was the first thing I seen from Absolute Universe. I'm like, oh, what's this? They have a new universe? That's the first thing I seen. Now, the only way they could crush even more is taking that, and if they put out a little absolute universe OVA, 30-minute OVA showcasing absolute Superman, absolute Batman, absolute Wonder Woman, absolute Green Lantern, absolute Martian Manhunter. Now, if they did that, it'd be over with. You know what I'm saying? If they did that on top of all the other shit they're doing, I mean, that would be just golden. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would be doing with my shit. Like, I'd have a Lion Man movie out, like right now, for my new Lion Man run. Like, I'd have a little OVA out. So, people are giving DC a lot of props, a lot of cred, which they should. I'm glad DC's up over Marvel because I don't fuck with Marvel like that. I prefer DC. Yeah, Marvel has cool characters. Yeah, I love Blade. But overall, I think DC is a better superhero continuum than Marvel, historically. So, that being said, DC copied McFarlane. They copied the Toddfather. They copied his model with how he launched Spawn Universe, and they just launched the Absolute Universe. And it had been in the works. I think Scott Snyder pitched it to them. I believe he's the one who originally pitched the idea for Absolute Universe, and it was back in 2021. So I think after they seen what McFarlane did with the Spawn universe and the success of that, they said, "Oh, I guess the Absolute idea might work." And then did what? Let creators have more input, and then they got a big success. So that also shows the industry they need to stop gatekeeping based on numbers, thinking they're going to lose money through their risk assessment models, where they go, "Oh, this won't work. It's never been done before," and start letting creators take initiative and have creative freedom to do new shit so you guys can start printing money. That's what they should be doing. So them winning this way, it's like, duh, you niggas should have been doing that shit. Like, you niggas should have been doing that shit, bro. Why weren't you? So that's the way that Absolute Universe copied the Toddfather. They copied the Spawn Universe model. And my guess would be, what's Marvel gonna do? They've been trying to, I think they just have the Ultimate Universe, but it's like that shit's been out for dumb long, bro. Like decades. Like, what? That shit came out in like '04 or some shit. So it's like, Marvel, where's your guys' new little universe? You guys better drop something darker and bolder. You better drop a black fantasy. So, Total Shock Fiction, again, is the home of black fantasy. Black fantasy is darker and bolder than traditional fantasy. It's also black stories told by black creators, black writers, black artists, black characters, and black spaces with black faces, black characters and black stories, but it isn't only confined to being black stories, it's also darker and bolder than traditional fantasy. That's black fantasy. Total Shock Fiction is the home of black fantasy. We have more than 30 works of black fantasy on Amazon. You can visit our website at mrshock.substack.com. That's Mr. spelled out MISTER shock.substack.com, or you can search Mr. Shock Chronicles on Amazon and it'll bring up the Mr. Shock Chronicles books. Click on any of those, click on my author name and Pandit Cole, and it'll bring up all my shit. And you can go check out the Total Shock Fiction books. We have black fantasy works in myth punk, cosmic horror, urban, dark fantasy romance, just different ones. We have a different spectrum of stories. Black fantasy isn't confined to one type of story. We can tell many different kinds of stories. The latest work from Total Shock Fiction is Hatred and Longing on American Soil, which follows up the storylines from Shock Therapy and Shock Therapy 2 Bad Profession, which have been released all this year within 2026. And then the next book coming out is Black We Are, Roar of the Lion, which is my official launch of the Black Fantasy Saga, which is my new franchise. Basically, my absolute universe. Funny enough, I'm doing the same thing. So, as an entry point to people for Total Shock Fiction and for Black Fantasy, I'm creating the official Black Fantasy Saga to bring people into the Shockverse and to help establish the Shockverse as an alternative to mainstream fantasy media, including Marvel and DC, and mainstream movies and TV, and giving people fiction that reads like you're watching anime and it reads like you're reading a comic book. It's that high octane, action packed prose and fiction storytelling to where it's in book form, but it's basically an anime in book form or it's a comic book in book form. And it has way more vivid, imaginative stories and worlds that have not been told this way, or these kind of stories in any other medium or format, directly from this mind right here, the mind of Dr. Shock, most shocking scumbag journalist on the planet, author and publisher behind Total Shock Fiction and Ink Runs Red, and Pandit Cole. So with that being said, as always, until next time, stay shocked.